Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Silly Girl with Her Silly Sports, and welcome to the first ever Trinity's Tallies. Yes, this is the first ever hockey video on my channel, but don't you worry, football is still going to be involved. We're just going to have a nice, even balance of the two. Now, in today's video, I'm going to talk about the Four Nations game, specifically the very last one where US and Canada faced each other. So if you didn't know, if you didn't watch the game, Canada won. And I only say thank God, because obviously, as you can see, I'm a Montreal fan. Cole Caulfield's my boyfriend. So I am happy with the win, because we'll get into it. So the Canadians started off with their first goal by Nathan MacKinnon, a fellow Colorado Avalanche player, also one of my fave teams. So of course I'm excited. Oh my gosh, go Canada. This is great. I love it. So exciting. Go Avalanche, go go Canada. Okay, and then just wait. Then we have the Kachucks. There are so many reasons they irk me to my core. This is not what this video is about, though, okay? If you're not aware, in the last game between the US team and the Canadian team in Montreal, the Kachucks thought it'd be a really fun and cool idea to have 3 fights within the first 9 seconds of the game. But the Kachucks this game, because the game was now in Boston, their territory, their US territory, they didn't feel the need to start any fights because they knew they were going to be booed in Canada, but this is their stomping grounds. They don't feel the need to be so aggressive and defensive. Them doing those fights back in Canada was a statement to them of the sorts. But whatever, I digress. There was then a goal by Brady Tkachuk, and just watch the video of when he got the goal. Oh man, that was rough. So, boo, whatever. Then the game's tied. Then after that, I'm like, okay, this sucks. I'm not excited because who wants to be tied? Who wants to go into overtime? Because I have the worst anxiety when it comes to overtime. Then the US scored again. I don't remember who it was, but they scored again. So then it was 2-1. I was like, ugh, no. Then here comes Canada goal, Sam Bennett. Thank you. Thank you. But then we're tied. So they go into overtime. I am on the edge of my seat. I'm about to piss my pants. I shouldn't say that on the internet. But thank the Canadian gods, because Connor McDavid won at overtime. God bless you, Connor McDavid. Now, speaking of Connor McDavid, this Canadian team was stacked. We got Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, Devon Taves, is that how you say it? He's the guy with the last name that says Toes, but there's a W in it. The W's silent, and then it's called Taves. And I'm like, no, dude, your last name's Toes. Just with a W in it. But anyways, seeing that team and then seeing how in the beginning they were great. Oh my gosh, this is so fun and awesome. And then they were slowing down. They were having some trouble within their defense. And they were having these more intense situations near the US net, which that's good. They want the shots. But they were these very scary plays and ultimately weren't getting the scores. But nonetheless, they did fine. They did great. And I want to say the hugest star of the game and should have gotten all the medals, Jordan Bennington, the goalie for Canada. He is the goalie for the Blues. If we didn't have him, we would have lost. I'm saying we as I'm a Canadian citizen. Now, the impact of this game in general with both nations. The Four Nations games are in general like the equivalent to the Super Bowl. The Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup, we're not about you right now. The Four Nations game, that's where it's at. It's intense. Everybody's involved. Their patriotic side comes out. And there's been this very intense beef within the US and Canada through these games. But then you also have teams who absolutely hate each other. Like, you will never have people who are Leafs fans supporting Montreal fans. You know what I mean? But you come together for the Four Nations games. You come together and you celebrate your nation, right? So that's why it's so heated. That's why it's so important to everybody. So now I want to talk about the role of the enforcer. But brief summary of what an enforcer is for those who don't know. It's just a specific player on the team who goes after people to look for fights, to cause problems, to create tension, to create the drama. Through the enforcer comes the de-individualization. That's a big word. Within the crowds, within the teams, within everybody involved. And that word just means the crowd reacts in an aggressive manner when they're seeing these enforcers produce aggressive actions. That is a whole topic that I want to really dive into in another video. It's probably one of the most fascinating things, in my opinion, when it comes to hockey. It's the thing I'm most interested in when it comes to hockey, the mental aspect of it. But why I'm mentioning it now is back to the Kachucks and why I think they're, insert whatever word you want to put here. I know people go to these games for the drama, for the craziness, but it gets people hurt. It is a huge issue. I think it creates aggressive atmospheres that are not necessary. Trust me, I love a good fight, okay? I love a good brawl in some of these games. But specifically during the Montreal game for the Four Nations game between US and Canada, it's a little much. It's a little much. Like, why are we doing too much? We need to pull back, Kachucks. Really reflect on why we act the way that we do, because I'm not about it. I think it's stupid. I think it's silly. Have like one fight and call it a day. And make it one good fight. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because you can see in these videos through these 3 fights in 9 seconds how aggressive the crowd gets, how intense the atmosphere is. And it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Hello, everybody. This is Editing Trinity with Editing Ron. And there was something I wanted to add that I forgot to say in the video in regards to the Kachuk brothers. During the commentary of the Four Nations game, the last Four Nations game, the commentators literally said that the brothers, the Kachuk brothers, were planning those 3 fights in Montreal. In the little USA team group chat, they were like, yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna prove a point. In regards to the mental aspect of this, like, no one is like, hey, that's a little weird and totally not normal. That's bizarre. Like, I understand if, like, you play hockey and you're talking with your buddies and you don't like someone and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna beat them up when I see them, you know what I mean? But 3 fights in 9 seconds, it's a little excessive, okay? I'm sure that the one fight at the beginning of the game could have proved your point, but whatever, I digress. Back to the video. But I digress on the topic because I totally want to talk about that in another video. Ultimately, in the end, Canada has won the Four Nations. Congratulations, Canada. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something so cool and awesome. And I'm so happy you guys are here for my new hockey videos. I'm excited to be making them. If you have any suggestions of what you want to see or learn or whatever, you let me know. Perhaps down in the comments section. I love you all so much, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.